Pickin Pear podcast. Yeah.
It's such a good jam.
Yeah.
Good job.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pickin Pear podcast. I'm Leon,
I'm Tia.
and we're the Pickin Pear, and this is our podcast. And it's good to be here.
Yeah, it really is. It's our latest start to the podcast, but we're ready to do it.
Oh yeah, let's get it going. We just had on our road to 1,000 shows. We had our 947th show together. Our 678th Pickin Pear show at the Cottage Irish Pub in Melbourne, Florida. Tia, tell me all about it.
We played some music.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
we did.
We did. It was a good one. We played out on the patio in the front. Some friends showed up. Everybody that was there was really nice. It was just a perfect little Florida night. You know, the weather was perfect all night. We played well. It was just awesome. It was I have nothing bad to say about that show.
Oh no, not a bad thing to say at all.
No.
All of those things are great. One of the coolest things was we got the jackpot parking spot right out front, so load in was easy, load out was easy.
That's key in those kind of not really city type, but where you're parking on the street. It's like, well, you better get there early and find a good spot for that RV, so you're not carrying that gear down the road.
Right. So we got there a couple few hours early. It was funny during the show. You could see Cassidy laying on the table looking at us. So we had a great time. First set was fun. I would say there was maybe a 20-year age gap in the average age between first set and second set.
Yeah, it definitely dropped.
Yeah,
it got younger.
Yeah, it got younger. But the first set folks were great.
Very nice.
I walked around and kind of said hi to everybody and thanks to everybody. And
had great conversation with a lot of the tables.
Yep, I was talking with a Canadian couple about some hockey.
Of course, yeah, they were Toronto fans.
I can talk hockey now.
Yeah, that's so cool. You're so cool.
I know.
I taught him well.
I'm a big Blackhawks fan, and we're terrible. So
Yes.
As a Cincinnati sports fan, it just fits right into my repertoire.
Used to it.
Yeah. But maybe this year. It's always maybe this year.
It's always, right? I love that you have that optimism. Thank you.
Oh, that's why I love baseball. Because really, you can be optimistic all the way through the first half of the season.
You really can, because anything can happen.
Even if you're terrible. Even if you're terrible. It's like, well, maybe, but maybe. Because the season is so long. Oh, but 100% a great time. Tara, the bartender, was great. The chef guy that we met recommended I had the fish and chips. You had the beef stew.
It's awesome.
I also had some of your beef stew.
Yeah, of course.
Was good.
You had to finish it. Yeah.
And, it was all in all a great time.
Yeah.
I don't think the waitresses really cared. They never really looked at us. I had to go inside to get them to turn the music off 3 times.
3 times. Yeah, you had all your gear on, your ears were in, ready to play. And we tried to get attention, but they looked so busy. I think you said one girl was wiping tears from her eyes.
She was
so
having
it was
a
like,
hard time.
all right, we'll go inside. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the deal, right? We're playing out on these little corners of patios of bars. It's like whatever. Like it's all an adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all easy breezy.
It really is.
Like just there's no reason to get upset about anything when you're playing music on the patio in Florida in February.
And if our job is to like bring good vibes, we're not going to get all worked up when things aren't going perfectly all the time,
No.
Whatever.
It takes a lot to really get us mad. So.
We'll talk about what gets us worked up in a little bit. But before that, let's talk about a little bit about the big week that we had again this week. We announced another really fun show. Last week we had the Pine Creek shows that we've got 2 nights at Pine Creek Lodge. And then this week we announced the Eclipse Party. I'm working with the Coterie, Kyle up at the Coterie in Kokomo, Indiana.
Yeah.
I hit him up months ago like, hey, I want to be in Kokomo for the Eclipse. It's going to be in totality there in Kokomo, Indiana. We love it there in Kokomo.
Yep.
We were in totality for the last big eclipse that went through the U.S. We were out west with our buddy Dick McCumber. He's playing with Jake out there in Montana now. Their little duo called Dick and Jake.
Yep.
And, it's just like something that's so cool to see because, I mean, you remember the last time we were the eclipse. It was just, it's so eerie.
It's like nothing. You can't explain it. It's like nothing you've ever really experienced until you just are there for it. And it's just something else. It's really cool.
And this year we get to be on this river walk in like downtown Kokomo during the day when this whole eclipse thing is happening. It's going to be packed.
Yep.
There's another awesome band with some friends, the Luna Worldcast. So it's going to just be a really good time.
Yeah, we're super excited for this one. I mean, to be on stage during an eclipse playing music, that's going to be awesome.
Let us know the Eclipse songs. We should probably try to learn to play.
Right.
And then when we announced that, the day after that, we announced a whole bunch of other stuff all across the country: Michigan, Montana, Oregon, California. And we are so excited to get back on, just to stay on the road and be everywhere all the time.
Yep, just doing the thing everywhere like we like to do.
Most years that we've been doing this, we get to see both the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean, and we're going to do that by May this year.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Very lucky.
And, if you know any places, if you look at our poster or whatever on Instagram or Facebook and you see some spots in between some places that we should probably try to play, just let us know. Or bands we should play with, we're down for anything. So help us out.
Yeah.
If you can. Otherwise, we'll figure it out.
We'll get there.
Yeah. Exactly. The week in review is up next, Tia. Do you have anything to say about that?
Not really. Just enjoy it. It was a good week. We had fun, so enjoy it.
All right. Well, here it comes, the week in review. Pickin Pear podcast.
All right, friends. Here is our week in review.
Starting things off, updating the map. Short distance out here on the east, not like out west.
Yeah, very true.
Man, it's still February.
And it's still beautiful.
It's just beautiful all the time.
Yep, I'm just making breakfast, hanging out at a nice park before our show that day, I think.
Yeah, or just any day if we have to boondock or something. That means, live without power and water plugged in.
Yeah.
We'll just find a park for the day and hang out and let the cats run around and enjoy ourselves.
Maybe find some ice cream down the road. Look at that place.
Ooh, that was a nice place. I like that place.
It was the Bubbles. We turned around to go back to that place.
Well, how do you not? You see a giant ice cream place and you think, let's get the ice cream for the whole family.
Right. Yeah, give Cass a little something. Oh, I love doing chores. I like going to the bank. This lady here caught me. It was pretty cute. She laughed.
She was happy about that. And here you are skipping out of the post office.
Oh, man.
Getting stuff done.
I love getting them chores done. I sure do. So those two big ones.
Such pep in your step.
But look at that strut. That's the
Bengals
grocery
bag
strut.
on his way to the grocery. That's a happy man. Oh, look at that Tia-sized grocery cart you found.
The only thing I want in there are zingers.
Yeah, this was a very made-for-TV moment because we did not eat those zingers.
Absolutely not.
I'd remember that. But we did have a little Valentine's Day dinner. We did a little seafood dinner right on the beach.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Look at that.
That orange cake was probably the highlight for sure.
Oh, my gosh, yeah, by far, of the entire dinner, yes.
It was really good. And then
that was Leon being real sweet.
Just being sweet for Valentine's Day, for my Valentine.
Look at this guy. He's such a sweetheart.
We had a good time. Then we did laundry, I think, after our Valentine's dinner.
He knows how to treat a girl. Again, I like getting chores done.
Cass said, I'm sick of you guys. I'm going to start my own podcast, and I'm going to call it Podcasts.
Or Cass Pod. But this place is so cool. We were at this park, and look at these limbs. They needed structures to hold them up because they were just so long and branching out, and they don't seem to break. It was just the coolest thing. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, like really, really neat trees around here.
There really are. That wasn't the only one, too. We saw more like it.
We saw one that was just like that. It was even smaller. It said it was over 400 years old.
Yeah.
And then we had our show at the Cottage Irish Pub in Melbourne, Florida. Great little spot. We were playing on the patio out front. Had some nice people hanging out with us. Had some friends come down.
Yeah. It was a great view. Oh, but if you look
some of us
closely,
didn't have as much fun as others. Look at Cass in the window.
That means she's sitting on the table, too, which is not good.
Hey, we're all rule breakers around here, Sometimes when it says no overnight parking at the Cracker Barrel, you just do it anyway and hope for the best.
This was another park we stayed at, and we heard the ice cream truck go by. At first, it drove past us, but came to us after, a few minutes.
Ice cream twice in 1 week. It's truly been a special week, friends. I'm glad you can experience it with us. Ice cream truck ice cream, not as good as
not great. Yeah.
Ice Cream Hut ice cream.
We had to do it just because it's like, when's the last time we've gone to
our
ice cream truck? But it was fun.
We also went to Culver's this week.
We treated ourselves. I like a little Culver's here and there.
We do the grocery, but, we cook a lot of meals, and sometimes you just don't want to do the dishes. And Culver's, $20, you're fed. We finally get to this amazing campsite. It's a state park, or a county park, actually. And just wonderful views. We're watching birds dive bomb and grab fish.
It was a really great experience. It was raining the whole time, which was kind of a bummer.
Most of the time, 90% of the time.
Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, look at that view. Look at that. It's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. We saw a dolphin at some point. I think 2 dolphins.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
There's the sunset.
Hi, Leon.
Hey.
Oh, it was just a beautiful park.
It was.
So.
And that's our week in review.
Pickin Pear podcast. Yeah.
Well, that was a nice week right there.
It sure was, wasn't it?
I can only hope that this week has as much ice cream as last week.
Well, if we find those cool places like that, I'm in.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And if it stays as warm as it is.
How could you not want ice cream on a nice hot day?
There's really no choice.
You're right. There's no choice.
Yeah. But, it's not all fun and games all the time. It was kind of a stressful week. We're getting such a late start on our podcast this week just because for a couple of days we were feeling really kind of weird.
Yeah, we weren't feeling right.
Yeah, and, I've been stressing out about, finding campsites and stuff for us because everything is always sold out all the time, or it's $100 a night. And, most of the campsites we're staying at, we're not paying any more than $40, $45. And that's in our price range. But they're all sold out because that's everybody's price range. Right.
Yeah.
And
there a million things we're always stressing out about,
mm-hmm.
So on top of all those stresses, there was this, and it was like, oh, God.
Yeah. Well, yeah, where I need to book us tour.
Yeah.
I need to figure out, where to get an oil change. Where are we going to sleep tonight? All of that stuff just piles on, and it just kind of can wear on you on this life on the road. But it's all part of the deal.
Sure.
And we understand that. But, there's this tool we have that helps at least us stay on the same page.
Right.
Every day.
Yeah, and keep us organized because that's huge. There's so many shows, there's so many events you need to make for all these different sites, and it's hard to keep it all together and know what you've done already and what you haven't done. So.
Yeah. So we don't have a very awesome bit this week with multi-camera angles at baseballs and whatever, but this is another look into our lives. We use this thing that we created from a spreadsheet.
Come on, Leon created.
Well, with your help.
Yeah.
You're my tester.
I use it. You create it. Yeah.
Anyway, it's our Pickin Pear app, and I want to show it to you now. And we did a little narrating thing as we kind of go through the app. So check it out right here on the Pickin Pear podcast. So this is our Pickin Pear app, also lovingly called the Tour Doc.
Yeah, right. That's what it's called, the Tour Doc.
And we just want to show you how we use this for so many different ways. We keep track of what day it is.
Yeah, that's a really good start.
We keep track of where we're going and how long it's going to take us to get there sometimes.
What shows and where and the times of them and what day.
So right here on this Tour Doc page, you can see these are all the shows that we have booked throughout the summer so far. These are hard confirmed.
Yes.
So those are all there. It updates what number show it is. What the next one is total 948. That's the show. That's the total number of shows we played together.
Mm-hmm.
Pickin Pear show 679 and the date. And then when you click on it might tell you the deal that we've got and
the time, of course, of when it is, how many hours. Is it 2 hours, a 3 hour show?
Yeah, and then Tia will promote the show. Whenever she sends posters, she checks marks, and whenever we've announced it, we check mark.
Yep. And same when I make events for all these places like Facebook and Bands in Town, Songkick, and Jam Pace. When I finally made that event, I'll check it off. So that, when you get, 20 shows at a time that you're doing, it's hard to remember which one you did it for, what site you did it for. So it really helps you keep on track.
Yeah, and then, little reminders to text our friends in this area and to email the mailing list, which we never really do, but we always remind ourselves.
Yeah.
And this is a fun little AI feature. We'll see if it works, where I basically ask it to tell me any independent blogs or radio stations or TV stations in the area that we might be able to use, and we'll see if it populates anything. Nah, I didn't really like that one, but it's all good. Some places work better than others.
Yeah.
This is our history in this town. This is our first time playing in this town. We can click on a different show like Kilted Mermaid the next night, and we've been there before. So you can see that we were last there in March of 2019.
Yeah, wow.
Right, so that's pretty neat. The calendar part we just kind of use basically as our daily calendar. It has every day throughout the year, and any notes about where I might want us to be or where we're going to be, or we have our first hip camp experience coming up on Sunday, where we're staying a few nights at somebody's place. I don't know. We'll let you know about it.
Yeah, we'll let
week.
you know. You'll hear about it.
It's gonna be weird. And then the after the show. So like after this show, if you scroll to the bottom, you click this little after the show tab, then it starts to populate over here. That's way long time ago. Let's go back to page.
Go back to the
one.
beginning. Yeah. Most recent.
Yeah. So these are our most recent after the show. So like the Cottage Irish Pub. Let's go down to like say, I liked Melwood Tavern. Yeah, that one, because that one has our whole set list from that night. What we made, how was the show. We leave notes about how the show was so that we can remember people's names and stuff.
Yeah, like bartenders, sound guys, people we met, all the things. There's a lot of shows, there's a lot of names to remember.
We forget a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then whether I got a recording and what kind of recordings I got, it's all right there. I'll keep it on a server so that it's all kind of on one place. And then this, our history in this town, it's like we played at least 14 shows in Louisville, and we really like the Melwood Tavern. And these are all the notes we have. And if I ever need to ask AI something, it's always right there.
Yeah, it's just got everything you need to know for that show that you had. What songs did you play? What time was it at? How was the show?
Yeah.
All the things that you want to remember about the show, we put in that after the show category.
And then I use this a lot for booking, so like places we should play whenever you tell us where we should go. Or I'll say, hey, Tia, we want to go to, around Vero Beach. Are there any other gigs that we can find around there? And she'll put all of this stuff in here so that when I'm ready to all right, let's look at, we're in Florida right now. So let's see, where should we play in Florida? And it lists all these gigs that people have told us places we should play. And I've emailed all of these places.
Yeah. If you're lucky, you get maybe 2 or 3 that get back to you.
Yeah. So it's really helpful. And, we do the same thing for bands we should play with. If we were better about reaching out to bands and asking, hey, do you need an opener or something like that?
Yeah.
And then, recordings. These are all listed here. I'm a data hoarder. I like to just hit record every night and, imagine myself as a 100-year-old man with my VR set just watching our glory days.
I'm in
the future, yeah. And then we've never used the set list helper, but we do use this a lot as our set list helper down here on the chords and lyrics tab.
Yeah, there's a page of Leon songs and Leon covers, and same for me, my songs, my covers. And that's just kind of our menu to choose from.
Yeah, we use these to, what should we play? I don't know. What should you play? I don't know. But the menus kind of help us remember what we know how to play sometimes.
Yeah.
And then the, all these songs, we have like chord charts right here in the...
Yeah, chord charts, lyric charts. Just, it's easy to teach people. And honestly, I forget lyrics to my own songs sometimes. So it's just nice to have on hand.
Right, and it's got little notes about the last time we played this song and the first record of us playing this song. Just fun little stuff right here for us to access all the time and to use and to stay on the same page. That's really a big one.
Yeah, because all the stuff is in Leon's brain, right? Because he books it and he makes it happen. But I'm not going to lie, sometimes I don't even know where we are the next weekend or the next day. So this really keeps me on track of what's coming up and where we're going to be. And, again, staying on track with Leon, a lot easier.
So this is a tool we use a lot. So we thought it'd be interesting for you to see how we use that. And we call it the Pickin Pear app.
Yep. Back to you, Leon and Tia.
Pickin Pear podcast.
So that's the app. That's how we use it a little bit. So
again, how we keep our lives organized. That's a big part of what we look at each and every day.
Yeah. So let's keep this thing rolling. It wouldn't be a regular Pickin Pear podcast if we didn't have a little food segment, and it's going to be brief today because we didn't come prepared. But Tia, we found this in the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
This delicious bag o' honey.
Man, well, we're a tea drinking family. We drink lots of tea, as you can see here. So we always have lots of honey in the house, and I'm wherever we're at, I'm always trying to find the local honey, just because. It's so it tastes so different, and it's so cool from where if you're on the west or the east coast or south, it just all tastes so different. So we found
This is really good. It's
I'm a
got
big
great
fan.
flavor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there were a couple different kinds. There was like this Florida Summer. There was Florida Allergy, which I was feeling like I was picking up on some allergy.
Yeah, just a little congestion
going on. Yeah.
Right. Something weird.
But I went with this Florida Summer, and I'm loving it. And let me tell you, I love the bag. I mean, I'm so picky about that. There's the squeeze bottles. There's the jars.
The Honey Bears. The big
and
mason
they all
jars.
just get kind of sticky. I'm a fan of the squeeze bottle because it's the least mess.
But your like hands are hurting
Oh my
because you're
gosh.
squeezing so hard.
Because it gets cold, you know.
Yeah.
When it gets cold, it gets hard, and then I'm like shaking, trying to squeeze the tiniest little bit of honey out. So the bag has been really, really cool. But there's no better way to get honey than in a bucket.
And we get a bucket of honey
Mm-hmm.
usually once a year.
Yep.
From our good friends Keith and Chelsea up in. They have some, I don't know, honeybees that they travel from California. They keep them in California half the year. They keep them in Montana half the year.
Oh, it's a whole thing. Yeah.
And the bees in Montana are basically hovering around Glacier National Park and then pooping out the best stuff you ever had.
That I love to put in my tea.
And they give us a whole bucket of it, and it's always the best stuff ever.
Yeah, that's my absolute favorite honey. Nothing beats that.
Basically, I don't want to taste anything but honey.
Yeah, he just
in
wants
my
honey tea.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't care what tea it is, as long as there's a big giant spoonful of honey in there.
And maybe a tiny caffeine boost, you know, from my constant comment. But so that's our food segment this week is the Florida Summer I Heart Bees bag o' honey.
Very good.
Tia approved. What do you give it out of 10?
Ooh, out of 10? This is really good honey. I'd give it an 8.
Definitely at least an 8.
Yeah.
I'll agree with
For
you
sure.
on that.
Yeah. 8. Boom.
If the Montana honey's a 10,
yeah,
this is an 8.
It is.
All right.
Yeah, I really like it.
Cool. Moving on.
You're done.
Food segment over. And we're wrapping up this show. It's going by so quick this week. But this weekend we have 2 shows.
We do. Yeah, we do. We're in Sebastian, Florida.
Never been there.
Nope. On the first day. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm going to say it's Paradolia.
Yeah,
Brewery?
Let's call it Paradolia Brewing on Friday, February 23rd. Our 948th show together, our 679th Pickin Pear show. Add 1 to both of those numbers for our show on Saturday, February 24th at the Kilted Mermaid in Vero Beach. Now, we have been there before.
We have. It's been, 5 years or so?
It has been almost exactly 5 years.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
But
yeah, I'm excited for that one. It's just a place you sort of vaguely remember, so I want to see if I remember it right. You know.
Well, and Rick, the owner, he's very cool via email. He remembered us right away. He was happy we were still on the road. Like he's been very communicative and very nice and just great to work with. So
awesome.
Very much looking forward to going back to Vero Beach this weekend. So we should have some new music for you out on the YouTubes.
Of course.
And I think that brings us to my favorite part of the show, Tia.
Yeah.
Where we find out a little bit more about what makes you happy.
I thought it would be the food segment that was your favorite, but this is a really good segment.
You're right. You make a good point. Really, it's any time that you're talking and I'm looking at you. That's my favorite.
Aren't you the sweetest? Oh, goodness. Well, you make me happy.
Oh,
No.
great.
Well, that's like every day. That's a given. He makes me happy every day. But this week, what made me happy was just my friends. You know, I got to say, like, we had that rough time, and I really needed to talk to somebody, and my friend was there, and it was exactly what I needed. And, I mean, it doesn't happen often. You know, we may not talk very often, but when we do, it's like no time has passed. So I really appreciated that this week. So, yeah.
It's good to have
good friends.
And, you just know when you got them.
Yeah,
and then
you know when you've got a friend for life.
Yeah.
You know?
And sometimes old friends turn into people you don't ever want to see again.
That does happen. Yeah.
So
yeah.
It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That
life
is
goes on.
Life moving forward all the time. Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's so cool when you know you've got a friend that you can always call and they'll always be there for you.
Yep.
So
yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it really makes me happy. But what about you, Leon? What makes you happy?
Video games.
Me too. I
Friends
don't
are
want to
cool,
talk
but
about 'em.
video games are cooler.
My internet friends.
Yeah, that's right. No, we both have an Xbox. We both have a Game Pass because that is the cheapest way for us to have fun all the time.
You go out, you spend money,
Yeah.
always. So we try and find our fun in the RV, and it's video games.
Yeah, a lot of video games, and watch a lot of sports while we play video games. You know,
Yep.
it's our perfect wind down for the day.
Yeah.
And there's a new game out on Game Pass called Plate Up.
And we don't always see eye to eye on the same games, right? We don't always
We
play
really
the same
don't.
games.
Tia loves to kill dicks. She loves to
do.
shoot them up
I
and
do.
just, blah, 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 you know, like I'm not really into that.
Yeah. But this, we both love this game, right? We've played another kind of game like it. It was called Overcooked, and it was so addicting. And we basically didn't stop till we beat the whole game. This is kind of like it. This Played Up.
Well, what I like about this Plate Up is like another game that I really like called Slay the Spire.
Mhm.
It's like they call these rogue like games where every run through it, it's randomized, so it's always kind of different.
Yeah.
And I've always said Slay the Spire to me is kind of like solitaire, you know,
Yes.
where it's different every time. It's kind of the same,
Mhm.
and sometimes you win, sometimes you don't.
Right.
And that's what this Plate Up is. It's like this rogue game that changes every time, but we have to work together to make cheeseburgers or hot dogs or whatever.
Pizzas and get them out in the right time. You know, it can be very stressful, but it's super fun. We love it.
But we love to be organized
Yeah.
and to be working on a team together.
Yes.
And I love food stuff. So this game has just been really great for us this week. We've been spending a few hours
We have.
playing this game. So
Yeah.
Plate Up has been what's making me happy this week.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like it. It's made me happy too.
Well, and of course, all of you watching our podcast, there was like 20 of you last week. So I think we'll be down to 10 this week. I really appreciate you. Next week, I'll name you individually. So thank you for watching.
We do appreciate it so much, you guys. Thank you.
We make it for you. We make it for us. It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's all for fun.
Always.
You know. And want to thank Matt Wolf again for helping me. Had some technical difficulties at the show, so we didn't get very good audio from the multi-track, but we did have the Zoom recording. So Matt, he tinkered with it a little bit, and he got us Crazy Ray's Outrageous Gravy Parade.
Yep.
So we're going to play you out with that. Thank you so much, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank y'all so much.
Pickin Pear Podcast.